Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Tom Osypian. I am the product manager for GEDmatch, and I am so excited to be with you here today to show you our new GEDmatch interface. We have been working hard on this for the last year or so, I'd say, and we did a brief preview if you were at RootsTech, where I did a short demo in my session there, and a couple hundred people in that room got the sneak peek, and we've been hard at work making improvements and getting it ready to show you the full preview today. And we're very excited to be able to walk through this with you and show you what is changing, what is different, what's new, and how this is going to be an amazing experience for you now using GEDmatch. So we're going to show you how this is going to make your research easier, more intuitive, and more customizable, and really help you understand, what the site's going to look like when we make it available for you in the very near future. So why did we rebuild this? Well, we listened to your feedback. GEDmatch has been around for a long time. We did a site refresh several years ago, and after that refresh, we still got a lot of great feedback from our users like you, sharing things that they found would be more helpful and better if we made improvements in different areas. So we really started, working from based on that feedback towards these three goals. One, we really want to make it easier to use GEDmatch for people that are newer. So we wanted to give more guided workflows and more support options for those newer users and ease that learning curve. And we also want to make it easier to find the tools that you want to use. So make navigation much more clear, make it easier to understand how the tools are and how tools connect to each other. And then thirdly, we wanted to give you more ways to customize and track your research. So we've got some really cool things that we're going to be doing and showing today around that. So what isn't changing? All right, a lot's going to look different, way different than what we have right now. Again, this redesign is about usability, organization, and workflows, but really that core is going to stay intact. So the science of our tools, it's all going to deliver the same results. It's the presentation and workflow that's going to change, not the comparisons. And GEDmatch is still free. So we're going to offer GEDmatch always at no cost, and we are adding new features to the free tier. Tier 1, of course, still remains. It will still keep its premium value, and we're going to have new features and new workflows to make that research even easier. Now, our focus is really on your feedback. So we're always going to be committed to listening, learning, and bringing that feedback into how we make decisions to improve the product and improve GEDmatch so you can find the family that you're looking for. Okay, enough slides. Let me jump into the new interface. So give me a moment while I switch over to that. All right. I do see some people noting there's no sound. If you can hear me, maybe put it in the chat. Yes, I can hear you, Tom. Only a couple people have said that. If you can hear me, awesome. I know that sometimes GoToWebinar has some challenges around sound, and we are trying to figure out what that might be, why that might be. All right, but let's jump into the interface. All right, people can hear me. Awesome, awesome. We are recording this. We're going to make it available afterwards on YouTube. So if you, for some reason, have to step away and do something else, don't worry about it. You will be able to watch this on YouTube on demand. Okay, this is the new GEDmatch interface. So I'm going to give you a tour of what you're seeing right here, and then we're going to jump into some of the tools. So let's just start at the top right, and you'll notice we got a nice picture here. We'll get more into that, but we've done something on the top here to, in the settings here. So we've separated out your profile and your settings. So your profile will have information about yourself, and then we've separated that from your account information, notification preferences, things like that. Now, when it comes to adding information, your own data to GEDmatch, we've got a centralized place now, and I'll just jump in there real quick. This is where you will add your DNA data files, your GEDCOM files, or if you want to import your family search tree, you'll be able to do that right here as well. Next, we have a tool catalog. And so this is all of the tools in GEDmatch right in one place. You can search by the tool name or the topic and see brief descriptions of the tools, which ones are tier 1 and which ones are free. And so this is a quick and easy way to see all of the tools that are available for you. Now you'll note the navigation is over on the left-hand side, and we have all of the tools organized now into clearer categories. That's going to help you locate that workflow faster that you're looking for. Now, if you don't want to see this, you can click the collapse button, gets it out of the way, gives you much more real estate to do your research. Now, you'll see this middle section of the dashboard, excuse me, and this is where we have these cards. You'll see a message of the day, and then we have some I want to cards. And these are some nice next steps based on maybe how new you are to GEDmatch of things that you might want to do. And this will take you to different tools, perhaps our knowledge base support area to learn more and get questions answered. But these are nice cards that'll let you jump right into doing some research. Now, if you don't want to see this, you click the little I button here, and that again hides all of that to give you a lot more real estate and lets you focus on, in this case, all of your information that has been uploaded to GEDmatch. So let's talk about that from a managing your kits, GEDCOMs, etc. You'll see here we've got a nice set of tabs to organize all of the information here that you've added to GEDmatch. We have all of your DNA kits now with many more columns to show different kind of aspects of each of the kits that are in there. So you can click on any of these to sort those by those categories. If you have a lot of kits, which I know a lot of our members do, you can easily add, show 10, 50, 100, up to 500 right here on your screen. So you don't have to have a very long screen all the time when like our current site has, if you have a lot of kits. And if you have more than however many rows there are, you can easily paginate through them. We have a search feature that lets you search by kit or by information. So you can just start typing and it'll search. So it could be any of the fields that are in here. So I'm typing, the folder name right here. And even, let's see if I try this. No, okay. So it lets you quickly search, and so you can find exactly what you're looking for. Now, we have a new feature, and we're calling it folders. And folders are a great way for you to organize how your kits are in this case, how they are grouped together. So in this case, I've got two different folders. I've got a family kits folder, and this lets me jump right into those kits that I've added to that folder. And I also have some phase kits. So this lets you really easily organize your kits. And if you manage a lot of kits for some of your family, this lets you put them all into folders and easily find them so that you're able to, again, jump right to the data that you want. Now, let's say you don't want to see all of these columns here. Well, you can click column visibility and you can uncheck some of these. So maybe you don't really want to see if there's tag groups, you're not using those, and maybe you're not doing, maybe you don't want to see any notes for some reason. You just hit that and then they automatically update. Or maybe you want to have these all turned on, but you want to reorganize these things. So maybe you want to see your notes first and then, maybe your privacy. You want to see that there. So that will move around and change right on the fly, which is really cool. And you can always hit the reset button. It resets it back to the default. So this idea of folders, column visibility, searching, sorting by the columns, this is essentially a new design standard that you'll see throughout the site now. And we wanted to make things much more easy for you as a user to customize it to your liking, but also find the information that you want very quickly. Now, again, GEDCOMs, very similar. You can, actually, we've got a favorite option here, and I didn't touch on that, but favoriting essentially will kind of keep things to the top inside of a column. And so that lets you get to some of your items that you want to see quickly right there. GEDCOMs is very similar as well. You can favorite them. We don't have any folders for them right now. Now, this is a really cool feature. So right now in the current version of GEDmatch, you have the ability to create notes for your own kits, your own GEDCOMs, and maybe some of the kits that you're finding as you're doing your research, as well as GEDCOMs. Now you'll be able to see them all in one place. And this lets you see all of the notes that you made. Right now, the only way you'll know if you've created a note is if you see it, maybe in the one-to-many results, you see a kit there and has a note on it. All right, I came across that one before. Well, this lets you see all of those notes now in one place. Again, we've got the ability for you to, modify the columns if you want to, do some searching by the kit number, the note name, some of the teaser text, and folders as well is going to be a feature here, so you can actually add, some notes into a folder. I will say that folders are going to be a tier 1 feature, but the ability to create notes is always going to remain free for our users. And then tag groups, it's kind of buried right now inside of GEDmatch to be able to find those. So we brought those front and center now so you can see where your tag groups are, and you can easily create a new tag group, put some information here. You can easily select some of the kits that are your own kits, or paste in kit numbers, and this is one way to do it. We've got some others that I'll show you shortly. You can pick your color quite easily, very similar to how it is right now, but it's nice right here. You can easily see them all. You can see all the kits that might be in the tag group. If they're in other tag groups, we show you that as well. You can see if it's your kit, if it's in the tag group, or maybe it's not your kit, so we're calling those external kits. So you can quickly see if kits that are in the tag group are yours, owned by you, or owned by other users. And again, we've got the pagination here, so you can quickly go through them and find for what you're looking for. Maybe you don't want some of these kits in here. You can just quickly check them and remove them, and we make it really easy for you to manage your tag groups. Okay, let's go back over to right here. Again, let's jump into what it would look like from kind of where things are at, how they're in the new interface, to you as a user, you log in here and you want to jump into doing some research. Well, you'll notice we have this new match column, and this will always be there for everyone. But again, we want to bring more value to our tier 1 users, and this will show tier 1 users now how many new matches there might be. And you can click this to jump right into the one-to-many tool, but the tier 1 users will be able to just click this, and we're going to jump into the tier 1 one-to-many tool here, and we're going to give it a second to load. We have a nice cool animation here. And so what you see here is our one-to-many tool, and you'll note that you'll see these purple results that are with the purple background. So those are the new matches. And so I clicked that new match notification, immediately came over here, and it sorted all of the matches with the newest ones at the top. And you'll see I've got this toggle here, sort by new matches. And so I can actually choose new matches within a certain time frame. So maybe I just want to see the last 10 days. There's only one right there. And you'll see now the 7 days. So instead of the age, it's showing just a number for a number of days, we're showing you how many days it's been in there with the D right there. So to make it a little bit clearer what that means. Now I can turn that off, and it's going to rerun very quickly. And again, you're going to see all the same data that you're used to seeing, just presented in a much better way. So let's walk through a couple things here, and starting at the top. So you can see we've got the kit right here that's being searched on, and we have the minimum centimorgan to match against, and the overlap, focus on autosomal versus X. And now when I ran this, these are the settings. I can usually just, maybe I want to change the overlap to 0. and hit run. It's going to run very quickly. And then I can get this out of the way. Now I have a lot more space and room, and I can see the matches here. And maybe I want to see 100 at once. So you can see I can quickly change how many kits are in my view. And maybe I don't want to see all of the information that's here. So again, as I mentioned before, we have the idea of column visibility, customizing the columns there. It's going to remember your preferences, so the next time you come and use the tool, it is remembering which columns are turned off, how they're organized. And so if I want to, maybe I want to turn off some of these things here, I can do that, and I can move some things around. And everything's moving around on the fly. So we've reorganized this to make it, I believe, much more easy to see the information. One of the common tools our users use is the In Common With tool. And so you'll see that link right here, and that's going to take you right over into that tool. You also will see we've got the name and alias and the email right here in one combined area. And we're still anonymizing the email address like we do currently. But if I click on this, this is going to pull up the kit owner's information. And from here, I can actually jump over to look at this person. I can do a user lookup. So let's go ahead and do that, because this is a new feature we're very excited to share with you. So what we're doing now in this new version of GEDmatch is we are bringing to you user profiles. Now, user profiles are optional. You can add information as you'd like. But if you don't want to add any information, that is entirely up to you. But you'll see now various fields that you can provide to give more information about yourself, because GEDmatch is about community. We want to deepen the relationships within our community. And so one way to do that is to help our members get to know each other a bit better, especially as you're doing research, kind of getting some more insight as to who your matches might be and who you are. And so these are fields that you can provide, as well as maybe some of your social media sites and links. If you're, what your location is, age range, if you're adopted or not, which definitely can help in the research for those who come across you as a match. What your genealogy experience is. Maybe you are a genealogist and you are available to work and help people out, and a little bit about you. And then your kits that you manage, and any GEDCOMs that you might manage as well, which is currently really all that you might see. So we're really excited about this, and we are excited about the way that we're going to see our community grow and get to know each other on a deeper level. So let's jump back over to the one-to-many. And I just want to point out one thing here is that you'll see this tab now. It has the one-to-many tool in the name, as well as the kit that it was run against. So this is a new feature as well, that the tabs are going to tell you what tool is being in that tab and what the kits are. So let's go ahead, and we're going to kick off a couple tools here. So I'm going to kick off this one In Common With, and that's just going to run. And then we're going to kick off the one-to-one tool, and we're just going to let that run. And then maybe we'll do this one as well right here. All right, so this is where I started. I started on the one-to-many. I found a couple of kits that I wanted to go a little bit deeper on. And now I can see what tools I've run in these tabs and the kit names that are being searched in those tools. So I can go ahead and click on the In Common With tool, and this is running. And so again, you can see this. This is as well the new design standard that we're using across all of our tools, where you'll see all of the settings of the tool that's being used. We're under this filters tab here. You can reset it to the defaults. You can run it. You can minimize it if you want to get more real estate. And then I didn't point this out yet, but this information tab is going to have information about that tool, what it does, how to use it, some tips and tricks, what you gain from using the tool. So this is going to be a quick and easy way for you to see, hey, what is this tool? What does it do? How do I use it? What's the best way to get the information out of it that I'm looking for? Right now we've got text in there. We're going to look at maybe having some videos embedded as well, but this is a really great way for you to understand how to use any of the tools that are on the site. So this in common with tool is very similar to, again, it's the same as what we have right now, but there are some differences where we have more information we're bringing in here. And again, you can always add notes. You can check some of the boxes off and do some things with that, which I'll get to in a moment. And then we got the result details here. So if you want to see, all right, what were the settings that I used for this? These will show you what the settings are under the result details. Now I'm going to go over to some of these other tools that I kicked off. So we've got the autosomal 1-to-1. And again, we've got all of the settings here right at the top. And as you scroll down, that's where all of the results are. And we've really taken a look at how can we improve what you're looking at on these tools, make it cleaner, make it easier to see, and more pleasant to view. And so this is the 1-to-1 tool where you can still see all of the information that you're looking for, just in a much better look and feel. And if you don't want to see some of these things here, like the comparison summary, again, right at the top, this data is really buried at the bottom right now of the 1-to-1 tool. We're bringing it right to the top, so you can easily see all of this right here, front and center, and then this is where you can drill down into the specifics on each chromosome. As well as the color key, this is a little bit harder to see and understand and read right now. We wanted to bring that more forward of how that's working. And then if you don't want these in here and you want to just get more space, you can easily do that. You can filter by graphics and positions or graphics only. Maybe you only want to see one chromosome. It's just going to drop it and show just that one. And then again, you've got your options here. Now, this is the 1-to-1 autosomal tool. If I wanted to just switch to do the X tool, I just click that button and hit run. So we've essentially taken both of those tools that are separate tools right now on GEDmatch and put them in as one tool and let you easily toggle between autosomal or X. And so that information, there it is, the X comparison right there. Now this is a tool I kicked off a little bit ago. It was running an X comparison, and again you can see the information for this one. But maybe, hey, I want to do an autosomal now on this person. I don't have to go to another tool, copy and paste the kits over. I can just click autosomal, hit run, and then there's my autosomal comparison. Now this is pretty snappy. It's pretty fast. Our amazing team of developers have really done a lot to optimize the speed of this tool, of this new interface and code base. Again, I've got the information tab here. It provides some details about what the tool does. And if I've done my search and I want to look at the details of the results, I can minimize this and get all the space I need on the site to easily go and look at the results. All right. Now, I want to demo what I think is probably one of the coolest features and most powerful features of this new interface. And what we are calling this is my clipboard. And I'll bet a number of you have been wondering, all right, what's this my clipboard over here in the top right? All right, so it's really designed to reduce repeated setup during your research. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how this lets you essentially take the kits that you come across in your research and add them to this clipboard to then use on pretty much any tool that we have in here. What the clipboard is doing is essentially, this is a replacement for and vast improvement on what we currently have as our multi-kit analysis. Now, multi-kit analysis, if you've not used it yet, you essentially can start with the one-to-many tool, for example, and you would check off a list of kits, a number of kits, maybe it might be all of them, and then you would send those to the multi-kit analysis visualization tools, and there's a lot of tools in one place. It's a great feature, very powerful, and so we kind of wanted to take that concept, but take it even to the next level. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take all of these kits and I'm going to add them to my clipboard. All right, so I've got 100 kits added. So the clipboard here, so this is essentially, it opened up once I added them, and it gives you a little bit of information about what it does. So it lets you, again, collect kits that are your kits, and we're calling those my kits. External kits, and those are kits that are not owned by you, and you could add them from results or by kit number. You can add in your tag groups, and then you can do some searches. Now you do need to usually select a primary kit as the main comparison kit for some of these tools to use. So that's something that you'll want to make sure you do, and I'll walk you through that. And so you'll see this, all right, select primary kit. Nothing's in there right now. So the search list, that's what tool's going to use to do the comparisons with. And so if I go to my kits here, and I'm just going to add in, all these kits. And so those kits now are added. And then I'm going to select the primary kit. And let's see, I'm going to pick this one right here. And so I can see now my primary kit has a little icon next to mine, and the primary kit is in the My Kits section here. Now maybe I want to, let's see here if I can, okay. So I've got my primary kit selected. So from here, I can go to another tool, all right? What this does, again, this lets me not have to copy and paste kits, have them in a separate spreadsheet, or put them somewhere else. It lets me manage it all right here. Now, let's say I selected the wrong primary kit right here. I can go over to the external kits, and maybe I wanted this one here. I can select the primary kit and make this one the primary kit. Now, if I go back to my search results, that one is right there. All right. Now, one thing actually, one really cool feature I didn't even note yet. I think I forgot to bring it up earlier, but we've got this really cool anonymized content button. So I can click that, and now all of the content is anonymized. Really cool feature that is pretty powerful. So I'll leave that on. And now that I have my search list, I've got 7 of my own kits, 100 external. I'm going to jump over to one of the tools here. So let me open this up. Let me go here, and I'm going to go to segment search. Now, let me just minimize the clipboard. So segment search, you can use it 2 ways. One, I can pick one of my own kits that is in my list, or I could paste in a kit here. You know, maybe I found one and I just want to paste it in. And I can do segment search on those, and I can pick how many matches, and I can go ahead and just run it however I need to there. Or I can toggle this on, and it's just going to use my clipboard. So I can go ahead and run that, and it's going to use all those kits in the clipboard to do the segment search. And again, I've got all of my information right here for those matches and the segments that they share. And again, maybe I don't want to have one of these kits in here. Maybe I don't really want to have this, the BA3 kit. So if I go here to, let's see here, kits, external kits. Maybe I don't want this kit in the list anymore. So I'm just going to click this button to delete it. And then maybe if I want to just run it again, it's going to run it again. And that kit's no longer in the list of results. Maybe I wanted to add another kit in there. I could easily just go in here, and I could just, under external kits, I could add a kit manually, and I could paste it in and hit apply, and it'll be added to this list. Now, if I wanted to add a tag group that I already have created, I can just click that button. Now on my search list, I have all the external kits that are there, those 99. I have my own kits, and then I have a tag group of 28 kits, and I can see all those kits that are in that tag group. So if I want to, I can then now run segment search again, and it's going to run it against all of those kits now. And so, we've got a couple more. There's 18 matches here. Maybe I wanted to pick another tag group. I can easily just do that and run it again. All right, so this is a really powerful way for you to look at your research and your results. You can add the kits to a list. You can from this search list, I can actually create a new tag group from all of these. So maybe you want to create a tag group, and I can call it, I can create a tag group here, give it a color. So now all of these kits that were my kits, external kits, actually I didn't have a tag group in here, are now, it's a new tag group. So pretty cool way to organize your workflows. And again, instead of moving from tool to tool, re-entering the same kit numbers, you can build your research list as you go and carry that context forward and use it across different parts of your analysis. I'll jump into one more right here. And maybe I want to just clear this search list so everything's cleared out. I'll just add these external kits, and then maybe I'll add this demo tag group here. So I've got my external, I have this demo one here. I'm going to use my clipboard, and I'm going to run this triangulation now. All right, so I've got all the information here. I can see the results details, so I can see the kits here. Actually, I didn't set a primary, so let me go back and set a primary. That is important to do here. So actually, I'm going to make select primary kit. Make that one the primary, and then I'm going to rerun this. Okay, there we go. Now it's looking a lot better. So again, I could take now, if I wanted to, I could take maybe some of these kits here, because I've kind of narrowed things down now, and it's only 6 kits. So maybe I would want to clear this search list, all right, and maybe take these 6, add it to the clipboard. So now I've got 6 kits in a clipboard. And oh, okay, it's actually probably 3. Yeah, it's 3 kits. And then now I've got these 3, maybe to do some, I can do some more things with that. Hope you get the idea though. Again, you've got a way to quickly get information about each of the tools here. You can pick your filters and choose all the current settings that are there, organized in a much better way. And then the My Clipboard feature is easily a great feature to help you better organize your research. Now, My Clipboard is a tier 1 feature. So again, we want to bring more value to our tier 1 users and the workflows and the power research that a lot of them do. And so we're excited that this is going to be as a part of that. I'm going to jump over to the Admixture tool now. And I want to just give you an idea of how, again, we're trying to make things easier, make the workflows easier. And this is one that we saw immediately. We need to do some work to reduce the number of steps it takes to actually get the results, make it clear to help you understand what, how things connect and work together. And so the first thing you always want to do is you want to typically pick a project. And then once you pick the project, you pick the calculator. So from there, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the kit, and I'm gonna click run. All right, so I've got my information here, and again, looks beautiful, easy to see, the breakdown of the various populations. You can go to the other aspects of this calculator very quickly by clicking these tabs. So we've got the spreadsheet that you can export. We have the Oracle, and we also have Oracle 4. So all of the data is there, very easily to get to, very easy to see, and you can easily pick a different calculator and then hit run, and it's going to run it very fast. Now, maybe you don't know what project you want to start with, so you want to do a population search. So maybe I'll search for German. I'll search that. And then this gives the recommended calculator. So we're going to give you a recommendation as a common strong point that you can use for that ancestry, but maybe you want to choose another one. And so you can go and see the other ones that are available here. Maybe I want to do that one. So I'll do that and pick the kit again, hit run. And we should see results shortly. If I had the Jeopardy music, I'd play it right now. All right, it isn't a demo without something taking a bit longer than you expect, or maybe not working as you would expect. So not a problem here. All right, let me just go back to the dashboard. I'm actually going to close these tabs out. All right, actually, here's the dashboard. We'll do that. All right, so I mentioned the anonymized content button. You can easily click that, turn that on and off. We have a product tour. So clicking that will launch the product tour, and that will give you a walkthrough of the site and how to use it. What the main things are that you might see on the site. So that is something that is going to be pretty cool for you to do, and that's something that we're going to be bringing throughout the site is these guided workflows and guided tours. And that covers everything that I wanted to go over right now with the new interface. Now, I do want to go back to my slides. And so let me stop sharing. All right. Let me switch to those. Okay. All right, and there we go. Okay, so let's talk about next steps here, and some of the important things that I want to make sure we communicate with you all about this new version of GEDmatch. So one of the things that I do want to share with you all is that we will be increasing the price of Tier 1. It is going to be increasing September 1st. So the big thing, though, to know is that if you are already a Tier 1 member, nothing is changing for you. So our current Tier 1 members, it's $10 a month or $100 a year, and that rate is grandfathered. All right, so our Tier 1 subscribers, many of you have been here with us for a long, long time. We want to let you know that we value that quite a bit. And so we're not going to be increasing the price for our existing current Tier 1 members. So you're going to keep your current price. No action is needed. Full stop. Okay. So make sure you do hear that, because I know whenever you hear price increase, you think, okay, my price is going up. But no, if you're a Tier 1 member, your price is staying the same. If you aren't a Tier 1 member yet, and you decide to join after September 1st, or after August 31st rather, there will be new Tier 1 pricing, which will be $15 a month or $150 a year. And that will be, again, applying to subscriptions starting September 1st, and that's going to help us to continue to invest in the platform. Now, if you've been thinking about Tier 1, subscribe before September 1st, and you're going to lock in today's rate permanently for as long as you keep your Tier 1 membership. So we have not increased the price of Tier 1 in, as long as I can remember, so at least 7-8 years. And so with the investments we've made to bring this new version to you all, and the investments we're going to continue to make, and everything that we've done with adding new tools to Tier 1 and all the new features we're bringing for Tier 1 members, you know, we are increasing the price a small amount. So this is really going to be funding the new version that you saw and the improvements that we're going to continue to make. So we appreciate your support there. So how the rollout's going to work, that's really what matters, right? You're like, Tom, I just saw this great new version. How do I get access to it? August is when what we're calling beta is going to open. So it's going to be available at beta.gedmatch.com. You can't access it right now. If you try to go there, you're just going to get an error. So I know some of you are going to type it in and try to log in. No, you can't get access. So that's when it's going to open up and open up for everyone. Some of the tools still in development, so there might be some occasional issues, and there's going to be a way for you to send us a message to say, hey, this is something that it's not working as we expect. Through 2026, we're going to keep improving beta. We'll have surveys, feedback options. That product tour in the bottom left, that's going to restart that guided tour anytime. By the end of this year, though, that's when the new site's going to be operational. The current site, we're going to sunset that in March of next year. So you will have options to use both sites until the end of sometime in March next year. But once this launches, I think you're going to want to use it. I'm excited to use it as seeing the current site that is available, and then seeing this new site. I just want to use the new site only, even though not all the tools are there yet. So we're really excited that we're bringing this for you all to help you with, again, the goal of connecting you with your family members, and we're excited to see what you think of it. And again, we want to know how we can continue to improve. So again, the science isn't changing, the experience is. We want to give you clear navigation, better workflows, more guidance, improves research organization. So as you explore the new interface in August and you try your workflows, we're going to love to hear your feedback as we build the future of GEDmatch. So with that, it's time for Q&A. And I just realized that, yeah, actually, no, you guys probably did. You should have seen my screen. All right, cool. All right, so there are a lot of questions. I'm going to do my best to answer as many of them as I can. All right. Let's see if I can. Okay, so all right, the recording, it's going to be available on YouTube. Yes. All right, that is going to be happening. Folders and notes you create, those are just for you right now. Okay, so that's something that we want to get your feedback on. If there are folders that you create or notes you create, are you going to want to have collaboration options? As of when we go live with this, and as in the foreseeable future, folders and notes are just for you. So that is something that you can manage there. And let's see, hiding columns. Hiding columns, it'll be persistent for your own preferences. So if you hide columns, reorganize them. It's going to be on a per tool basis or on your main dashboard. So yeah, that is something that is going to be saved as you go back to the tool. Now, the data that you have in the current version of GEDmatch, that stays. You don't have to do any kind of transfer. You don't have to do anything to be able to start using this beta version of the new site in August. You'll log in to the normal version of GEDmatch. We'll have a link that'll be very clear. Access, and from the current version, we'll have a link to access the new version. You'll click that link, you'll get logged in and be able to see all of your kits, GEDCOMs, all of your notes you already have created. They will all be there available for you. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to log in and start using it and tell us what you think. I got a question about Ancestor projects. So yes, we are making improvements to Ancestor projects. That's an area that we will be kind of revealing more of, and things that I didn't show you yet. We're going to do some more reveals of, hey, here's how we're making improvements in areas that I didn't cover. So you can be sure to see some additional videos from us highlighting those throughout this year. Any tier is allowed to try beta. Yeah, free tier 1 doesn't matter. You're welcome to use the beta. But again, we're not changing access to the tools. So tier 1 tools are still for tier 1 members. A number of the features that I showed, like the clipboard, the new match notifications that'll go right to the tool, the folders, those are all going to be tier 1 features. Free users will still see if you have a new match, and you'll just have to go into the one-to-many tool and then do some sorting and clicking to be able to see those ones. Oh, yeah, a good question here from, and I'm sorry, I've been calling out names. I'm just kind of trying to get through these. But Paul mentioned he has 210 kits in I'm assuming a tag group. Can you easily rearrange these in the order in which they appear? That's a great question. I think that's something that we're going to have to follow up with you on. If I don't know that, but that might be something kind of cool. If you want to kind of see the results in a certain order, there might be a way for us to kind of save that order. That's something for us to look at. All right, let's see what else. I don't have an exact date in August when this will open. We will definitely let you know. Anything that you do once we're launched in beta, it's all going to stay there. So if you start working in your clipboard and you create, your groups and tag groups, all of that's going to remain. This isn't going to be a beta that we then turn off and then turn on the new site. Beta is going to be the new site that will be fully live. In that March cutover, it'll just be the new site, so that you won't have to kind of worry about data going away if you start using the beta version of the site. Admixture tools. So Admixture tools, they are the same. Nothing's changing there. We are looking at, can we improve the calculators? They have been on the, as a part of the GEDmatch platform for a number of years. So that's something that is on our roadmap of, improving that. But, we want to improve the overall GEDmatch experience first. And the way that we've built this new version is going to let us add new tools and new features much more easily than the current version. So we're excited how we're going to be able to, kind of take your feedback and implement things faster in the future. All right, let's see here. If you join now, so let's talk about tier 1 and the price change. If you join now, if you join before September 1st, that's your price. You're going to stay locked in with the $10 a month or $100 a year. If you join on September 1st or after, that's when the new pricing change takes into effect. Let's see. What else do we have here? The subscription goes by the date of joining. So if you join today for a year, then your renewal is going to be a year from today, and it'll be, $100 in a year from now if you join today. Let's see. A question from William. What's the difference between the free version and tier 1? So the free version, you've got all the core essential tools. You get to see who you're related to through DNA with the one-to-many tool. You can see with the one-to-one tools, where specifically on the chromosomes you share that DNA. The in common with tool will let you see matches that you have in common or don't have in common between two DNA kits. You get all the admixture tools, ancestor projects. Let's see, all of the GEDCOM, most of the GEDCOM tools. There might be a couple that are one or two that connect DNA matches and GEDCOM matches. That's a tier 1. Lots of great tools that are free. We'll always keep those free. But tier 1 lets you kind of automate a lot of research with clustering, triangulation, all of the auto segment and auto kinship tools that automate showing where shared segments are, automating some tree building that lets you kind of, then do it yourself, in your own tree building tool. So lots of differences, and that might be a good, resource for us to share. What's the difference between tier 1 and free, especially as we launch this new version. If you want to join and pay today, you will log into your GEDmatch account, and at the bottom of the main dashboard, your main screen, you'll see like a nice upgrade now green button. Click that green button, and that will take you to the page where you can check out, and you'll see two options to pick from to check out, where you can choose the monthly or the yearly, and that would then let you go through and do that. And it's credit card only. Right now, we are looking at bringing in something like PayPal through that option, but right now it's a credit card. Charlie asked, if you join paying monthly now, can you later switch to annual and keep your grandfathered rate? That's a good question, Charlie. I can see what we can do to honor that. Yeah, I can see what we can do there. That would be something, part of it's a little bit of the back end kind of code, if you will, and how our subscriptions are managed. So I'm kind of marking that as a follow-up item. You can change your monthly subscription to a yearly subscription. So yes, you can do that. And that one, Jane, so that's a great one that for me to create a little knowledge-based article that kind of walks you through that. So that shows you how, when you are managing your membership, there's a little window that opens up and you can see your current subscriptions. You can go in there and you can actually switch it and it'll prorate. So if, let's say you're halfway through the month or you just started your monthly and you want to switch to yearly, it can apply that payment that you've already made to that yearly subscription. And so, yeah, we can definitely do that. Let's see here. Yeah, Linda had a good suggestion about the Admix tools having a map in there. That's something that's on, been on our mind. How do we bring a map in there? That's something we're looking at. How do we do that to make it look better than a pie chart with a list of names, of the different regions? So yeah, we definitely want to be able to do that. So free users, another limit of free users is that you can only upload up to 5 DNA kits. If you're a tier 1 user, you can upload as many as you want. And we have some of our tier 1 members that take advantage of that. So if your kits are still in there, William, just log in. If you have an issue forgetting your password or trying to reset it, so anything like that, you can reach out to our support, and that's just support@gedmatch.com, or you can go to support.gedmatch.com and you can create a ticket through there if you have any questions there. But to get restarted, just log in and look at your kits and look at your matches and start kind of going in through that. We do have on our GEDmatch website, if you go to gedmatch.com, there is kind of a video section, and we have a nice section of beginner videos. And these are videos that walk you through all the basics of the tools that are the essentials to understand how to use as if you're kind of getting reacquainted with GEDmatch. And we're actually going to be seeing doing some things to update those videos with the new interface for the most common tools. So if you want to get restarted, those are some of the steps that I'd take. Josh asked about the MyHeritage whole genome sequence file. So this is a good question. What do you do with that? How do you upload it to GEDmatch? Right now, there's no direct upload. Those are massive files. There are some. It's a bit kind of I think more of a techie kind of thing to figure out. But there's some tools you have to use to convert those to the format that's acceptable to upload to GEDmatch. And we're looking at, is there something that perhaps we recommend or even develop that we provide to say, hey, if you've done a whole genome sequence test and you've got your data and you want to convert it to be able to be used in GEDmatch, there might be a way for us to help with that. We're looking at it and evaluating it. We're probably going to come out with like a support knowledge-based article that gives you some direction in the meantime of what tools you can use to convert those whole genome sequence files into a format that lets you upload it to GEDmatch. Becky, great question. Can I add a relatives kit to my own account? They're elderly, they don't really use GEDmatch. Absolutely. The main thing is make sure you get their permission. Ask them, hey, can I upload your DNA to GEDmatch and I can manage it for you? We have a lot of our members that are kind of the family genealogist, and they, talk to their aunts, uncles, cousins, and they have them provide their DNA data to them. They have their relatives give it to them, and then they upload it to GEDmatch and they manage it all for them. And so you can definitely do that. Just make sure you get their permission, and then when you upload, there's an option that says this DNA is someone who's given me authorization to upload it. Pick that one as that option, and not a problem. All right. Let's see. So iPads Pros. Becky asked another question about using iPad Pros to be able to use GEDmatch. Uh, that is a good question about it being tested. This new version of the site will be much more, mobile friendly, tablet friendly. We'll have to kind of communicate further to what degree it is, but we're focused right now, on getting all the tools over and getting everything working, and then we'll share a bit more of the mobile friendly, tablet friendly aspect. For another Wendy, a question about, will we be able to have the same primary kit in more than one group, more than one tag group? For example, I want my mother's kit in several groups based on each line of her ancestry. Absolutely. Tag groups are made to be flexible, so you can have the same kit in 5 different tag groups, or you can have it in one tag group. It's really up to you how you do that. And if you end up adding more than one of the tag groups to, for comparison with the clipboard, we'll deduplicate things and it'll only show up once in the results. So yeah, that's not a problem. Gwenna, thank you for the feedback. Great changes. Really like the clipboard label tabs, being able to rerun tools with different parameters without starting over. Look forward to putting these to use. Thanks very much for this preview. Gwenna, thank you. Really excited to, hear that feedback. And I see a lot of other comments there. Great changes. Thank you for making this site more user friendly. Yeah, we demoed this at RootsTech, and everyone that we showed this to was just really excited by it. So I'm glad to get that feedback as well through this, even though I can't see you guys face to face. I'm seeing these right here. Where do you get answers to questions you'll have moving forward? So our support channel is going to be one of the best places to do that. But that's more for technical questions. I think what we'll do is we'll create a new forum in the GEDmatch forums. And that's going to be easier than just taking questions one-on-one, right? As you guys might submit them. And it'll be all about, the new GEDmatch version. And that will be a place for you to ask questions, and we'll do our best to answer them as fast as we can. But that is going to be the place, if you have questions, for you to provide those and share those. So that will be, look for that to be launched next week sometime. Actually, we probably won't launch it next week. We'll probably launch it closer to when we go live with beta. So look for that to be launched then. And we plan on doing much more communication before beta to let you know about all the great changes that are coming as we work on them. Joseph, thank you for your comment. No question, but wow, this is fabulous. Sorry I missed this at RootsTech. I will be using GEDmatch a lot more now. Thanks so much. That's what I want to hear. That gets me excited to hear that kind of feedback, and to know that you guys are excited about this. Yeah, this is awesome. Beta will be running at the same time as the current site, so you can still use the current site. Again, not all the tools are going to be live on beta when we release it in August. So the tools that aren't there, you can just go to the current version of GEDmatch, use those tools. And again, we're going to get everything over into this new version by the end of the year. But again, we really want to know what your feedback is and make sure everything's working as it should and we're not missing anything. So yeah. If you missed the first half of this webinar, yes, it has been recorded. Yes, it will be made available on our YouTube channel for everyone to watch at their leisure. Maybe some of you are watching the U.S. men's soccer team in the World Cup. Luck of the draw. I scheduled this at the same time, but yeah. Let's see. If you pay for tier 1, later decide you didn't need it anymore, could you revert to free? Absolutely. So if you start with tier 1, you decide that, hey, this isn't for me, not a problem. You can just cancel it. If you have a year membership, then it's going to cancel at the end of that year. If you have the month, it's going to cancel at the end of the month. So at that end of that time period there, then yes, it will revert to free. If you have more than 5 kits, so let's say you're a tier 1 user and you upload, let's say 10 DNA kits, and then you revert to free, those 10 kits stay there. We have that 5 kit limit, but we're not going to make you delete kits from your account if you go from tier 1 to free. You just can't upload any new ones, right? Because you're past the max. So If you want to upload a new kit, then you're going to need to delete, at least if you have 10 of them, you got to delete 6 of them. So then you can upload one more, and then you'd be at that 5 limit. All right. Yeah, Julie, thank you. Yeah, she said it's a new version, looks a lot easier to use. I've been using GEDmatch for a few years, but it was so confusing to use that I gave up trying to figure it out. Julie, that's why, again, we made this new version of the site for folks that want to get into digging into their DNA and who they're related to, and to make it easier to do that. And so we're excited to get this out there to you all and see how this makes it easier. All right, let's see here. Yeah, Celeste, this looks like an exciting refresh. The website has been bare bones for too long. Absolutely agree. Once we started working on this, it was hard for me to go and look at the current site. I was like, can't wait till this new site's live. David, good question. Are security and privacy the same with the new site? Absolutely. Security and privacy are paramount for us. We're continuing to improve our security posture with updates that we make, security updates in the background that we won't ever talk about because that's just a security thing. We don't really disclose, when we make specific updates. But things like the multi-factor authentication that we recently rolled out, we have a lot around our authentication that we maintain. There's a lot that kind of goes into code review to make sure there's no vulnerabilities. We have constant monitoring. We have third-party testing. We're hosted on enterprise-grade infrastructure. Again, all of the choices of the data that is in your site is managed by you. When you delete it, it's gone. We don't keep it. And so this new site is continuing those security and privacy postures so that you can be sure that your data is safe and secure with us. All right. Let's see. The anonymized feature. So what would be the purpose to doing that? So if maybe it's really from some of the people, some folks in the community that like to create content, they can create content about GEDmatch and anonymize the information so that they can easily post it to social media, any of their channels, their website, YouTube, whatever it might be, without a lot of extra video editing, because it takes a lot of work to, blur things out, especially if you have a lot of data in rows. So that's the purpose of the anonymized content option. And if someone like me doing a live presentation, I can just click anonymize and all the data is anonymized, and that makes it a little bit easier there. All right. I'm looking through the questions here. Yeah, so Christina, question about, the change to limit the numbers of kits. Yeah, you can keep the excess. So if you're a free user, you have the excess. If you've got more than 5, don't do anything, right? You can keep them. You don't have to upgrade at all. So again, if you're a free user and you've got more than 5 kits in your account right now, you don't have to delete anything, but you can't obviously upload new DNA profiles to your account. Tier 1 members, of course, unlock that, so you can upload as many as you want. So yeah, Christina, don't delete anything. Keep things as they are. You're good to go. All right. If you join, Sally has a question. If you join Tier 1 before September 1st, do you roll over and automatically debit credit cards when the year expires? Yeah. So here, sometimes you get with different services that are out there that are recurring, you don't ever get notified whenever you're going to get charged again. And we're upfront about that. So we're going to let you know via email that you're going to get charged again. If you're monthly, we're going to give you a notice several days beforehand, and you can click cancel if you want to cancel, and you won't get charged. If your credit card information has expired, we let you know that as well, so you can log in and update it. So We will automatically charge your card for the next term, whether you choose monthly or yearly, unless you choose to cancel that beforehand. So, man, great question that was asked that I did not answer, and I am going to show it right now. Let me make sure I'm logged in. Virginia, great question. This is why I've got great people that I work with. Virginia is the principal designer of this new version, and she just jumped in and said, Tom, can I change my language? Yes, this is a big deal. And I in the excitement of showing everything, I did not mention this. So GEDmatch, this new version will be multilingual. We are working on translating as much of the site as possible. And so if you'll notice we've got things translated over here. This is not fully baked yet, but we want to expand GEDmatch. We have users all over the world. So we want to make it much more easier for our users in different parts of the world to see GEDmatch and use it in their own native language. So we make it easy to just pick a different language and the site will update in real time. And so we're very excited about this feature, and I should have brought it up earlier, but again, there's so much that we're packing into this new version that was a kind of a big one that I wanted to share it earlier, and I just slipped my mind. So thanks, Virginia. All right. Okay. Kathleen had a question about the price changes. So September 1st is when the new price goes into effect. So essentially, if you sign up on September 1st, that's when the new price takes effect. If you sign up on August 31st, you get grandfathered in at the current price of $10 a month or $100 a year. The recording is going to be available on our YouTube channel. I'll likely get that live next week. All right. Bill, great suggestion. It would be helpful to have a roadmap to direct you to the tools to use for a specific research question. Where can we find this? So in the tool catalog, this is really kind of our idea there, and we can, we'll see how we can improve this of the tools that are available and what you might want to use them for. So this gives you an overview of what each of the tools do for you, and then you can jump in and start using that tool. And I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to do one more thing I didn't show. So those of you that have stuck around, you get to see a little bit more. So the shared DNA comparison here, and this is going to be a tier 1 feature, but if you click this right here, let's say I'll click this one here, 104.8 shared centimorgans. This is going to open up our relationship probability tool. Now this tool is available for free. Anyone can use this tool, but this tier 1 users will let you go in and actually automatically put the shared centimorgan value in, so that 105 carries over. And so this lets you see quickly what the most likely relationship is for that amount of shared DNA. And so this is a really cool way for you to get a sense of, okay, I got a new match, I share 100 some centimorgans, well, where could they be in my family tree? Well, this match most likely is a second cousin once removed. So if you have your family tree, if you've done work to build it out, then you kind of know those second cousins once removed could be in these areas, and that lets you start narrowing down next steps you might want to take with this specific match. And again, I got my tab here. I can see, all right, I got this tool open and how many shared centimorgans, so pretty cool. All right. Tag groups do exist now. They are used more on the tier 1 side of things, but they do exist now in the current version of GEDmatch. If you're a tier 1 member, you can easily create them when you go into multi-kit analysis. That's really kind of the main way they're used right now is in multi-kit analysis. So, but yeah, you can definitely look at those. And then there's videos on our video page that walk through how to use tag groups effectively. All right, Pamela, my name's Tom Osypian. I'm the product manager for GEDmatch. She missed my introduction, so yeah, I've been on the GEDmatch team since 2020, January 2020. So yeah, really excited to really launch this new version of GEDmatch for you all. Okay, I am going to wrap it up right now and stop sharing and close us out. So again, thank you all for being on this webinar, for those of you that stuck around for the Q&A, and for all the great feedback that I'm seeing in the chat right now and the questions that have come in. I can't wait to get this in your hands. We can't wait to get this in your hands. And so look for the recording on our YouTube channel. We're going to send out some emails, to let you know when it's available. And as well, we have a webinar next Friday at 12 p.m. If you want to join that, that's on the on our message of the day link to register for that. It's a free webinar about some of our tier 1 tools. So sign up for that next Friday. Ryan Russell will be presenting, and look for more to come as we launch the new version of GEDmatch. Thank you. Have a great weekend.